Good morning, all. Gately Stevenson-Mathews here, out for my morning walk, or as my friend Gail Allen used to say, my morning constitution. The reason I'm coming to you this morning is just to remind everyone, as you may have seen that I have shared earlier, this past Tuesday night, that was June the 26th, on the agenda, and this was the last meeting before the summer schedule. So what that means is typically their meetings every 2 weeks, but this particular meeting, the city, of course, anticipated the fact that going into the summer schedule, it would be the last meeting before a 4-week break. Well, many of us who attended Cinema in the Streets, and now here is the thing, Cinema in the Streets was put into place by former Mayor Reggie Spinello, and here is why that was put into place, or at least as I understood. The AMC Theater was closed at the time, and it was the mayor's response to giving people an opportunity to see films on Saturday night when the theater was closed. And a wonderful response, exactly the right thing to do, and thank you, Reggie, for doing that. But what happened is there's something much greater than I think even Reggie may have anticipated, and that is what it gave our city in a very critical time, and also a time where all of us are on a budget. It gave families an opportunity to have an affordable night out. And what happened is this: yes, there were a few people who perhaps would have been buying tickets to the AMC Theater on those evenings, but what turned out en masse were people who, again, on a budget, families of 5, infants, children, toddlers, children in strollers, their dogs. You know, became a very different audience. So the people who showed up on Saturday evenings, oftentimes parents who worked Monday through Friday, showed up to just see an old film. You know, it might be Grease, it may be a rerun of, gosh, I don't remember, but anyway, they're old films. They're not first-run films. For the audience who are willing, and you know, even I on special occasions spend the money to go see a first-run film, but they were not first-run films, and they are not first-run films. Cinema in the Street, so it's a very different audience. It's people who come to eat popcorn, and the kids bring their tricycles, and people are on blankets, and their infants, and their, you know, multiple family members. But that happened, and it happened on Saturday again because parents working Monday through Friday could actually be out a little later. The films do not start until the sun starts to go down, so they have to start late. So for all those reasons, Saturday was a beautiful fit. The beautiful thing is the city has chosen to bring it back, and again, especially in our challenges, there's so many larger issues that we're contending with. But especially with those challenges, here was this wonderful gift to families on a budget. Just one little thing that gave families really a wonderful night out on the weekend. Well, this past Tuesday night, and again, that was June 26th, and again, it's the last meeting before the summer schedule, it was placed on the agenda, item number 24 of 26 items, I believe it was, as changing the date from Saturday evening to Wednesday evening. So what this does is this: those families who typically, parents are working Monday through Friday, are then having to schlep their children out on a Wednesday night to try and go see a film. Again, this wonderful opportunity that was given them is taken away. And the tricky bit also, on top of that, you know, there was no solicitation for public input. At no point did people say, or the city reach out to the public to say, you know, is this a little better choice for you moving it to Wednesday, or Saturday seemed like a good fit? Now, I'm guessing it may have been moved to Wednesday because they felt, you know, oh gosh, you know, the AMC Theater is now open, and I am a big fan of the AMC Theater. You know, maybe once a month, if that much, you know, I splurge and pay the $10 or $12 to go see the film. But if you've got a family of 5 and you are on a budget and you've got an infant also, and you have to hire a babysitter, you know, every Saturday night is not what you do as far as paying for a theater ticket at the AMC Theater. You just don't do it. Yes, you do support the theater, but this event on Saturday nights that happened last summer is a very different thing. And the unfortunate thing is this: by moving it from Saturday night to Wednesday night, it just makes it impossible for so many parents. Especially given that there was no solicitation of public opinion on changing this date, especially given that they waited until this past Tuesday to put it on the agenda, even though it appeared in the paper on Wednesday. Thursday. It came out in the paper, the new dates, but it did not appear in the paper. Tongue-tied here. It appeared in the paper on Thursday. It was on the agenda the Tuesday before, and for the contract to be signed, it had to be approved by the city council. So the contract couldn't have been signed until Wednesday morning, I would assume. And so even if you reach out to the city and they say, oh, well, the contract's been done, well, they may have done some preliminary negotiating on it, in which during that time they did not, reach out to the public, but they may have negotiated on the front end of things a bit. But it could not have been signed until this past Wednesday, or perhaps, in theory, I suppose it could have been signed after the city council meeting, which ended quite late on Tuesday, but again, appeared on the paper on Thursday as if, okay, look, we're up and running. It's Wednesday now. So, I'm not suggesting that that was intentionally done, but it just has happened really quick. The city is now saying, oh gosh, they may very well say, well, the contract's done. We can't go back and change it now. We've got these 4 weeks before the next city council meeting because we've just gone on to the summer schedule. This can be fixed. And the most important thing to me is this. This is a minor issue. This is a tiny issue. We have giant issues in our city that must be addressed. We must be fierce about addressing. We have got to all turn out for those issues. But while we're slugging those things out, this was simply an affordable night out for families to enjoy on the weekend when they could actually get out and take the family and enjoy themselves. The film itself, it used to be on School Street. There was some concern about traffic. It has now been moved to the back of City Hall, so that challenge is now eliminated. And all I'm suggesting in response to hearing from so many people is that we just need to move it back to Saturday as was originally the case. Again, what Reggie Spinello put in place was a beautiful night. I think it grew into something bigger than anyone could have imagined as far as giving an opportunity to families as far as an affordable night out. And all I'm suggesting is that everybody please make a point to reach out to the city. If you have a friendship with a city council person, maybe give them a phone call. It has also been suggested if you email the mayor to also copy the city council people, so go to the website for the city to do that. And others have said make a phone call, and I would make it first thing this morning because we are on the front end of things. The contract could not have been signed until this past Wednesday, but contracts are renegotiated all the time. So my hope is this: end of the day, this is easy. This is not hard. Some things are hard, this is not. Let's continue to give our families an affordable night out by simply moving it back to Saturday as it was originally set in place. And it really gives us a wonderful weekend. Friday nights you have downtown sound. Granted, the live bands and such are not so good for families with small infants and such, but many people turn out for that event, and it's a great event to support. We then will have Saturday night when families with children and blankets and dogs and infants, you can bring everyone and really enjoy a family fun night watching an old film that's been out for some time. And then Sunday night, we then have Morgan Park. So I just think last summer it made such a beautiful combination, really working to reach out not just to families who can, perhaps afford on a regular basis things like a theater ticket to the AMC Theater, but also serving families on a budget. So my hope is this: please reach out to the city. I'll put the information below. And again, this is not a hard issue. We have hard issues. This is going to take some work. Please express your appreciation to the city for making the extra effort, for going back and remedying what I think most of us see as not as good a choice. And let's just get this done. Okay, Gately, Stevenson-Mathews coming to you on my morning walk from Morgan Park. Okay, let me turn. Now, here's the thing. All right, there it is. Are we not the most fortunate people in the world? Okay, thank you so much. Please do reach out to the city.